Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Comic Central podcast. We are back. This is our first episode 2021, I think, because our last episode was in like August. So, yeah, this is episode 23, I think. Yeah, all right. So we are going to be talking about Wandavision since the series is wrapped up. The finale released this Friday. And we are just going to be going episode by episode and giving our thoughts on the series. So, yeah, I guess we can just jump right into it. How many people are in this right now? I think we got...
Are we going worst to best or best to worst?
No, we're just going, like, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. We got 11 people on this podcast, so pretty large one, since we are currently doing a 48-hour Discord call challenge. Don't know why we're suffering through this, but yeah.
Insane right now.
So yeah, if we get heated, that's why. So yeah, let's just get right into it with episode 1. Who wants to start off with their thoughts on the episode? And by the way, just a disclaimer for this. We rewatched all the episodes last night. So they're fresh in our minds. All right, so let us begin. Who wants to go first?
This is Greenbird. This is not TJ.
Different. Now that he can't speak, let's start some intelligent talk.
All right. Okay. So who wants to go first with their thoughts?
I can go.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, GNA.
See, my thing with the episode is the first time you watch it, there's this mysterious vibe to it. Very mysterious, you don't know really what's going on. But when we rewatched it last night, I was honestly bored because, there just wasn't much real watchability in it because I already knew what was going on. I knew, the whole plot, what was going to play out. So, yeah, I think the first time watching it, it probably has a lot better of a score than watching it again and again. So I'd say, maybe the first time watching it, I'd probably give it, a 7.5. But watching it again, I'd honestly give it, either a 5.5 or maybe, even a 5.
All right.
Great review, GNA. I love you so much.
Wow, thank you.
All right. So who wants to go next?
I'll go, because I like speaking.
Thank you.
It's a very good trait of mine. So yeah, for the first episode, I kind of feel like even the first time I watched it, I was a little bored. I felt like for a start to the MCU, it felt very far from the MCU, which was good and bad, in my opinion. For me, like when I first watched the episode, when it first came out, it took me 4 days to watch the second episode because I just wasn't very interested. And like DNA said, I feel like it doesn't have a lot of rewatchability. I feel like it has good moments and bad moments, moments where it's very boring, and then it has moments where you laugh and you're kind of like, that's funny, because, it's based off of a sitcom. But rewatching it does feel satisfying when you pick up all the different nods that it has that you didn't probably notice before, like when Agnes says that her husband's name is Ralph. That's
Oh no, we'll talk about that joke later.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so many questions that get answered, and once you rewatch it and you see those questions and you know the answer now, it's kind of nice to see. There's a lot of genius behind those questions and making us wonder and making us theorize, and that was probably one of the most fun things about watching the show.
Was this the episode where the guy starts choking?
Yeah, this was the one with the dinner scene.
The change in camera, how it's shot. It was shot much like a horror movie.
Yeah, very claustrophobic. Yes. I also found it really interesting how you can tell that they're under some kind of control when they're allowed to feel any emotions except for what the scene requires. I thought that was really interesting. Mm-hmm. When she's laughing and happy even though her husband is dying.
Yeah. She's just like, stop it.
And also,
stop it.
Later, Pietro says in episode, the Halloween episode, he says, couples stay together. So that was her actual husband choking her death.
Yeah.
I would like to imply what GNA was saying about the episode 1. Yeah, it felt very mysterious, and I like the old-timey look, and everything. It was really fun to watch, even though I had literally no idea what was going on, like literally none. But yeah.
I would also like to imply what GNA was saying.
Okay, stop. All right. TJ, what would you rate the episode out of 10?
Gamer got 0 credit for a 7. But yes, in all seriousness, maybe like a 7.5 at the most.
Okay.
I'd give it for what it was aiming for. Probably a 7, 8.
Like in terms of entertainment, I'd give it like 5.9. Yes, but like in terms of like writing, I'd probably give it like an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Highly agree.
So I guess I'll just go right now. So, I give it a 6.5 because, like, it is cool seeing the start of the show and all the little references, like the little sword logos going back and all that stuff. But there is, like GNA said, there's little rewatchability. It gets kind of boring at times. I mean, the obvious standout of the episode was the dinner scene, and that had that really creepy vibe to it. But the rest of the episode was just a sitcom, and it's super unique for Marvel. Like, it's nothing they've ever tried before. I just don't think that it would, it's a necessary episode, but it just is not too fun for me, so that's why I give it a 6.5, but it's still decent.
I just noticed something too about the dinner scene.
What?
When the boss is choking, she asks Vision to help him instead of helping him herself, because if she helped him, it would probably blow her cover as the puppet master behind the whole world.
I mean, Vision did face his and
also she dropped the sitcom accent when she told Vision to help him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's true. I think it's a really good episode. It's just, I really wish it was more replayable, since sitcoms are really, really, really replayable, and just you can just watch them over and over again.
No.
Episode 2, on the other hand.
Yeah. So wait, Gamer, did you rate this episode yet, or?
No.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
It's fine. I'll give it I don't know, 7 maybe.
Okay.
I'd have to rewatch it.
Go ahead.
Alright, so, to imply off of what GNA said,
This episode's gonna call to imply.
I think I've got a fairly unique take on this situation, but I think the biggest flaw is that it just isn't very rewatchable.
Nobody else said that.
Alright, in all seriousness, yes, that is my biggest problem with it, because, I literally would rather, if that was on, I would rather do something else, which is rare for me for Marvel content. I'll sit and watch Thor if it's on TV, which I'm not a huge fan of that movie either way. But, I do think the switch of cinematography in the dinner scene is easily the best part, and that's what actually made me, by the end of it, I was excited for the next one. But, other than that, I mean, it had a good bit of enjoyability the first time watching, because I love the classic misunderstanding trope where they call each other and they're speaking in code to the point where it makes sense based on their point of view, but they're talking about different things. That was clever. It was a clever way to introduce the sitcom with a very tried and true sitcom episode type idea. But other than that, it was just so inconsequential other than the dinner scene. So, and then of course the sword logo at the end, and then also the commercials never really panned out to anything. It was just 30 seconds to a minute of Wanda has trauma from being trapped by Hydra.
So you guys remember when everybody freaked out about Sword, and then it was just like, no, guys, it's just Shield too.
Yeah, right. They were never really that. I agree with that too. I feel like all the big things that were hinted at had very little payoff. I never really had any like big WTF moments of this series. It was just like, oh, yep, Sword is Shield 2.0, just like Greenberg said. So, and then even the Agatha stuff, everyone saw that coming. Everyone. That's why I thought for sure they're gonna have to do something with Mephisto in the final episode, because they're not just gonna have literally the most obvious reveal. Because by that point, everybody was making fun of everyone who thought Mephisto was gonna be in it. It was like, oh, people really think Mephisto's still gonna be in it. I was like, it has to be, because they didn't just have the big reveal be the one thing that literally everyone predicted, and then they did. So, it is what it is. Probably like a 5.7 to a low 6 episode. Cool the first time, but really don't care overall.
All right, Blaze, what are your thoughts?
I don't have anything to add because literally you said everything. So.
All right.
I have one more thing.
So, Blaze, just give me your rating.
Okay. Hold on, TJ needs to imply off of GNA.
No, shut up. Wait, Blaze, what is your rating?
6 out of 10, maybe 7.
Okay.
Can I give a rating? Still on episode 1?
Yeah.
Oh, Evermore's still here.
Oh, yeah, Evermore.
Alright, Evermore, you can go ahead and then TJ can imply off what GNA said.
To imply off what GNA said. Oh, God.
That's gonna get old fast.
That already got old fast.
If that's not going to be the title, I'm going to put it in the description.
I know. My rating for this episode is probably 6.5 because, again, like, it's not very rewatchable, and,
Rewatchable.
The black and white might be a turn off.
It's not very rewatchable.
Black and white, wow, racism.
No,
Don't make a freaking grammatically incorrect sentence during this, or you're gonna get made fun
I
of.
just want to hear Evermore.
Alright, yeah.
It might be like for some people it might be like a bit of a turn off because they're not really used to it anymore. Like you don't really see that anymore. So that might be another reason. But it's still a good episode, and I feel like it felt very much like a sitcom, and I think that's also what turned off some people. But I wouldn't say I would say it's a good introduction to what the show became.
Alright.
I think for rewatchability, they should have really taken from like other mystery type shows like Lost or Law and Order, which are a lot more rewatchable.
What the fuck was Lost?
How many times have we said rewatchable already?
I mean, it's a big
You
problem.
mean rewatchable?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, let's move on to episode 2.
Alright,
We're gonna take a really long time.
Wow. Please, can I please go first?
Let Gamer go first. Let Gamer go first.
No. I want to go first for a
Fine, TJ. Alright, TJ offered to go first, so we're talking about episode 2 now. So yeah, here we go.
Okay.
Episode 2. Same thing with episode 1. I really this is kind of like a downgrade, honestly, if you're asking me, because same thing wasn't very much entertainment, and you know what? Honestly, did not like it. So it's kind of a downgrade in my opinion. That's it.
Alright, what's your rating?
You said that 3 times.
Well, alright, TJ, what's your rating?
How about we just do a rating after everyone's done?
Like a low 6, a very
Okay,
low
fine.
6.
Alright, Gamer, do you want to go?
No, I'll wait.
Oh, okay. Who wants to go?
Can I go?
Okay.
Sure.
Alright, I'll go after Greenberg.
Okay, so, episode 2, personally not a fan. I found it really boring, especially, even for the first time watching it as a follow-up to episode 1, it was essentially the same thing. There were some, very important moments, like Jimmy Woo trying to break through, and, the color running through Dottie's hand, and her rewinding time, and the helicopter. But besides that, I think the whole Vision with Gum subplot and trying to introduce more characters, basically I think they overcrowded it, and I just didn't have as much fun as I did in episode 1. Especially, it felt like if they remade episode 1 with slightly a different plot. It didn't feel like an episode 2. But that's just my personal opinion. I'd give it a 6, maybe a low 5. 6 maybe a high 5.
I
agree. Highly agree.
I'll go next.
Well, no, GNA offered to go after Greenbird.
Okay. I'll go after GNA then.
So I'll go episode 2. I think episode 2 is a necessary episode for us. I found it extremely boring. Like, really, the only kind of edge of my seat part was when, of course, like when Greenberg said, when Jimmy Woo was trying to contact Wanda through the radio. But I think this episode, it does an okay job of introducing, like, the town and the stuff. Like, I think it's okay. The magic show was fine, but the gum and vision, that was really stupid. Just overall, it wasn't really that entertaining. It wasn't really that funny, like the first episode. It was easily my least favorite of the whole series. So, yeah, I didn't really like that much.
And what's your rating?
Oh, I thought we were doing ratings at the end. Whatever. I would honestly give it a, 4.7 or a 5.
Okay, so, I feel the same way about episode 2 that I did with episode 1. I feel like I just wasn't a big fan of the 50s and 60s era. It just felt very not entertaining for me. It feels like something you just watch to get to the other episode. It doesn't seem like something you would watch back for joy. I had a lot more fun with episode 2 than I did with episode 1, personally, just because I feel like there's a lot more, funny interactions, with the magic show in the town. That was a pretty fun scene. But, I think everyone else is saying, the saving grace of the episode was the thing that left us with questions, with the thing with Jimmy Woo and how you could see color and who the beekeeper was and stuff like that. I think that does very well at adding suspense to the entire gist of what they're trying to tell us, how she created this world, what's even going on with it, and stuff like that. I also really like the transitions between the widescreen and full screen thing. That's really neat to me because it's very seamless.
I'm pretty sure that wasn't in episode 2 though.
Oh, was it?
That was only once we actually got to
the 70s.
The outside world.
Yeah, gotcha.
They also switched resolution size in the 70s era and from 50s to 60s, because 50s it was the square and then 60s it was kind of 16.9.
Well, in this episode they changed intelligence.
Yeah, I love that scene. The color changing scene was fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyways, rating, Jess? Or listener?
I rated a 6.5 out of 10, just off of enjoyment. Writing-wise, again, it was pretty good, but on an enjoyment level, I gave it a 6.5.
Okay. Jess?
Well, let's see. Okay, I feel like I'm having a kind of unpopular opinion. I actually like this one a good bit better than episode 1.
I agree.
Thanks, Gamer. But really, I don't know. It kept the gum thing felt like an episode that I would see in a 1960s sitcom with a couple who one of them was a robot and the little funky animations that they did. It just felt just like the sitcom that they were going for. And then the magic show, I think the wardrobe choices were great in this episode. But the way that Wanda used her magic to kind of trick them to think that she used actual magic to make it seem like they were doing fake magic.
Wasn't Agatha?
Can teleport people.
Well, wasn't Agatha the one that was kind of messing up the things in the talent show? Remember the Agatha All Along montage thing or whatever? And I remember she was doing some magic stuff in her chair or whatever.
She was just moving her hands around just to show you that.
What's she doing?
I don't know.
She wasn't doing anything.
She said that there's most of it was either Wanda or Vision's doing. What was she doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna make this gum move a little bit.
Yeah, And then I think that the stuff that episode 1 just had, the dinner scene, and like them not knowing their story. But this one had so much more, like the blood, the helicopter, the radio, and then the beekeeper. And then also this is the episode where Wanda became pregnant at the end, right?
Yeah.
Or was that the next one? Yeah. So I thought. So yeah, I mean, it was good. I think they benefited a lot from having it released the same night as the first one, because I wasn't expecting to get any answers on the first night of watching it, and we didn't. But if they had released the episode 1 week and episode 2 the next week, I would have expected some more answers, some more like moving forward.
Yeah.
So the fact that I was able to watch it almost all as just one episode, I think made me like it a lot more. Whereas I would have just been unsatisfied if I had to wait a week in between.
Yeah.
Putting them together could definitely make them a whole lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Than just looking at them like singular.
Right.
Yeah. So, are you gonna give a rating?
6.3.
Okay. Wait, who won? Oh yeah, Gamer.
I pretty much just agree with Jeff. It's like, I like seeing the town. I thought it was nice. I thought it was an upgrade to episode 1. I think a reason why we didn't like it was just because we haven't really seen many of those sitcoms in the like 60s and stuff, or 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
We're more used to like more modern sitcoms. Yeah, I don't really have much to add. I just really like some of the small details, and like how they didn't show Wanda and Vision in the same bed, which was just like the.
Back in my day.
I hate you. Anyways, yeah, I agree with Chaz. I liked it a lot more than episode 1. Well, not a lot more, but I liked it more than episode 1, and thought it was good together.
So, I guess I would just give my thoughts here. So, I think episode 1 and 2 are very, very similar. This one, I feel like, didn't, like, do much more super different. I mean, sure, it had a few more cool things, and, like the helicopter, Dottie, like, with that, blood scene, and then the beekeeper, but overall, I feel like I just wasn't too invested, because it didn't really change it up as much. It kind of felt like the same as episode 1, which kind of bored me, but there was still some cool stuff, which, saves the episode, I think, but I don't know, I just wasn't really too invested in it, and like episode 1, it's not very rewatchable, and overall, it was just, it was okay. I give it a 6.3 out of 10, so a little bit worse than episode 1, but around the same.
Can I go next?
Yeah.
Alright, so this episode, as everyone said, it's very similar to episode 1. I did like it a bit better, because it seemed like it had a bit more, like the story kicked in a bit more, like, sooner, at least I thought that, and it had more, like, WTF moments, like the blood and the helicopter, and,
Please bring the language.
Yeah, please.
So yeah, I would give it about the same rating, like a 6.5. Just like I feel like they were. If you watch them separately, then it doesn't really work. But if you watch it together with episode 1, it does work better. I like them two as one episode. So I give like 6.5.
This makes me want a new comic extra Scarlet Witch figure. Which, I mean, I know we got that Family Matters 3-pack, but if you want that by itself, it's $50. And the other one can't stand this year.
Alright, does anybody else need to give their thoughts?
Damn, okay. Must be noticed.
I give it a 5. Good episode. Well, it was alright. Not the worst. Yeah.
5 out of 10.
Alright. So, I guess that with that we will transition into episode 3. So, with episode 3, who wants to go first?
Hold on, before we start, can I give like a quick recap? I don't remember what the fuck happened.
So this was the one this was the 70s
They're
one.
all so forgettable.
Okay.
Episodes.
Yeah, so this was the one where Wanda was pregnant. Okay, Blaze, I'm explaining right now. So yeah, this is basically one where Wanda was pregnant and all that, and had the babies, and Monica was there, and yeah, that was kind of about it for the episode.
Gotcha.
Episode 4 is the one that explains everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, episode 4?
Yeah, that's the one with
Yes.
Jimmy Woo.
Okay. Just good.
Alright, so who wants to go first?
You really want to do this?
TJ, stop. Who wants to go first?
I guess I
What,
can
this is
start.
episode
Okay, one at a time, please. I don't know. I had 4 people speaking at once.
Who wants to
No one
start?
else wants to go first, then I'll go first.
You can go ahead, GNA. I guess I can go second.
Greenbird, do you want to go first? Because I don't mind.
Do you want to?
Just somebody speak!
I'm fine. I'm fine to
Just
go
go.
second, okay?
Okay. Alright, this is episode 3, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll go twa.
Episode 3. Okay, amazing episode. Loved it. Well, not loved it. I feel like I'm using it too strong. Alright, anyway. Amazing episode. Really good. I feel like this is the episode that just grabbed my attention. Like, Wandavision kind of had my attention, but this one just grabbed it. It was very good. I liked Monica in the episode. All the, like, baby stuff, where they're, like, getting prepared and they're panicking. I really liked that. The end part was really good. And, of course, kind of built a bit of mystery with Agatha talking to the neighbor and Vision kind of overhearing it a bit. But, that turned out to be nothing. But anyway, really, really great. Really love that episode. If I were to rate it, I would rate it like an 8.
Alright.
So, yeah.
Legendary, you can go second. I'm busy.
To imply off what Gina said.
So this is episode 3, right?
Yep.
Okay. Episode 3 for me, actually, like, once it became colorful, it became a lot more entertaining to me. I feel like the charisma started to get a little higher, and it was more satisfying to watch. The character interactions were a lot better for me. Like, I like the thing with Monica and Wanda. That was fun to watch. I feel like this episode led into one of the best episodes in the show, and that makes it good for me. Like, I feel like rewatching it is a lot more bearable because you know what it's going to lead to. And, like, it's not just one of those things where it's like, you know what it's going to lead to, but you don't really want to watch it. It's one of those things where it's like, you can rewatch it because it's really entertaining and it's fun to watch, and you know what it's going to lead to. Feel me, homie?
Mm-hmm.
So, rating?
I rate episode 3 a 7 out of 10.
So, episode 3, it's definitely a huge upgrade. It, like GNA said, to imply off what GNA said, it caught my attention immediately. Like, as soon as I saw the scene where she, like, got, Jesus Christ, the scene where, I can't remember his name, but the guy had the like, edge cutter, and he was cutting through and he was cutting through the bricks, and it was just, like, it was so off.
Mm-hmm.
The whole episode is really great, like, and then, the swan, and there's a lot of imagery in it, and I just feel like it was such a huge upgrade, and it really catches your attention, and especially the scene where Monica disappears. It's like, what happened to her? And then, that's right there at the end where you see Sword, because, like, the resolution switches and at the hex. I thought that was awesome.
So,
rating, let me think. 8 out of 10. I love this episode. It's a great one. I could rewatch this.
I think it was a good episode. I like the eeriness of it, like with her cutting into the wall, and then
I like how later it's like it's mentioned that Agnes was the one who made him realize that he's trapped.
Mm-hmm.
I also like, of course, the Vision being like all dead.
Yeah, that was awesome. But I'm pretty sure that I think that was only shown in episode 4.
Yeah, episode 4 was when we had that like thing. So I remember that was after we saw like Wanda like shoot Monica out of the hex.
No, it was in episode 3.
It's episode 4 because like it was in the same setting, but that's like it had the aspect ratio change. Where it was the same aspect ratio.
She also worded it different.
Yeah.
No, I swear it was in episode 3.
It was episode 4.
Let me explain. It was like when she turned around, Vision was like that, but in episode 4, the recap, Vision was just always like that.
No. Okay. Let me explain. So when we had that scene where Wanda shot Monica out of the hex, Vision was in the background, asking where Monica went, and Wanda was like, she left early or whatever, and then when Wanda turned around and saw Vision, that's when we saw him when he was like dead and stuff, and that was with the aspect ratio change. So that was at the end of episode 4.
But maybe you're confusing, because in episode 3 she does turn around and go, but it's a behind shoulder shot, so you can't see his face, you can just see him.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. But anyway, that's off topic. So
you're off topic. Mm-hmm.
All right. So who was going again?
DJ, please. Yes, thank you.
No, wasn't Gamer talking? Gamer, can you continue your thoughts on the episode? No. Gamer was talking before. Hold on, because I remember Gamer was talking, then Greenbird interrupted him, and I did that, and we got on that tangent. So Gamer, I want to hear your full thoughts on the episode.
I just really like the eeriness of it, where Wanda just rewound Vision when he asked like what's going on. That was nice.
So a rating?
I forgot what I was saying now. I don't know.
Okay, Jess.
TJ was begging to go.
Fine.
Okay. So.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, I will go this time. So yes.
Just explain.
Okay. Yeah. Stop this one for an improvement from the last episode. A big improvement. I really enjoyed this. And, one of my 2 favorite scenes out of that whole episode, my favorite scenes, is when, the kids went to babies, to toddlers, to, kids.
That wasn't this episode.
That wasn't this episode.
That's episode 5.
Oh, sorry.
That was episode 5.
Oh, sorry, guys. It's so confusing. But, yeah, it was...
Confusing, guys.
And... yeah, it was so good, and the characters, it was beautiful, delicious.
Did you just get? Yeah, did you just kiss the viewers too?
And okay, and here's why I say the characters were well made in this episode, because when that scene where Wanda and then Vision floated up and then Vision was like,
that was episode 5.
No,
Okay, someone else can please talk.
Alright, I'll go next. So
No, TJ, you don't even know what episode you're talking about, so Jazz gets to speak.
I feel like I have another unpopular opinion with this one, because I don't think it was that big of an improvement.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it just does a lot of the same stuff with the her being weird, and then just all the antics of the house and everything falling apart because of Wanda giving birth. I just didn't find that entertaining, which was a big part of the episode. I thought it was good for Monica and Wanda's relationship, that they were friends and stuff, and also that Monica's life story made very little sense because it didn't exist. And then, I mean, the stuff at the end was cool. The Ultron and Pietro name drop was pretty sick, but overall, the best part was easily
I got spoiled for that.
the best part was easily the freaking.
The part where Vision and Wanda fly up in the air.
Yeah, when they fly up in the air, and he's like, "Oh, you will get to make that choice for me."
Yeah.
The best part was easy. Hey.
Shut up.
Joke over. I'm still talking. The best part was easily the end because it made me excited for the next episode. But I just didn't really feel much towards this episode. So, like 6.5 to 6.7 probably.
All right. So to imply
it's
out,
not that great.
so to imply off what Jazz said.
Real quick.
No.
What?
I was asking if I could say something real quick.
Sure.
I just wanted to note that since we were all dropping like what our favorite parts of the episode were, I really enjoyed when my favorite part of episode 3 is when Wanda finally gets her Scarlet Witch suit and she defeats Agnes and
Stop. All right, the joke is done.
When's the next episode gonna what's gonna happen in the next episode? They already defeated the main bad guy.
All right, stop. Okay,
Yeah.
so episode 3, I think I kind of agree with Jazz because I think it definitely is an improvement, but not that much of one because it still is kind of doing that sitcom stuff, which I like better in this episode, but I still wasn't too interested in Wanda being pregnant and stuff. I think it was a lot more fun though for me, but it was still not really super like good. I don't know. And the kind of the eerie aspects kind of again, like with her freaking cutting the brick or whatever, and that whole part was it and Vision kind of starting to piece together that the world is like kind of wrong, like when he's like, I think something's wrong here, but then Wanda like rewinds time again or whatever. But yeah, so I think Vision's starting to find out a little bit that there's something wrong with the world was cool, but overall the episode just wasn't super good. An improvement, but not that much of one. 7 out of 10. So who wants to go next?
Actually, my favorite scene of the episode was when Dora, or whatever the hell her name is, walked in, and she was like, "These earrings make me look fat."
Alright, sorry, alright. Who else needs to speak about this episode?
I really like the scene with Thor and Hulk where they just...
Shut up! Everybody shut up!
Evermore, do you want to go?
I like the episode. Probably one of my favorite parts is the scene where Wanda rewinded Vision, but at first you would think it lagged or something happened, but it was really just she changed.
Was that episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was in this episode. And I do like the name drop, like Jazz said, Ultron. Silver. I'm not gonna say his actual name because I can't say it. I'd probably give it a 7, 8 out of 10. Yeah, 7. 7 out of 10. I didn't really like the main plot for like the sitcom plot of it. I don't know, it's just me. Yeah.
Okay. Evermore, do you want to go?
Yeah. I really like this episode. It was really good. I did like the pregnancy elements. I think it's me. I'm an avid sitcom watcher, so it's like comfort food to me. So this episode was really entertaining, and it's not one of the best, but it is a good episode, and it's a good. If you're trying to get somebody into the show, then I would say show them this episode, because it really represents the kind of what the show is for like the first part. And it's kind of our last real like sitcom episode before we get the more sword and the sitcom portions stuff. But overall, I'll give this episode 8. So
Alright.
That's a pretty good opinion.
Alright, so let's move on. Episode 4. Who wants to go first?
I want to go.
Okay, go.
This episode blew me.
It blew
This episode,
No, stop.
This episode actually was surprising when I first watched it because I wasn't expecting it to just reveal everything all at once. Well, not everything, but most of the things that we had questions about. And I like Jimmy Woo's character development, him playing the cards, learning it from Scott Lang and Ant-Man the Wasp. That was cool. I'd probably give it 9 out of 10. It was a good episode.
Alright, Blaze has a new name in the server. Alright, so who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Alright.
This episode is definitely a lot better than the last few, but I don't know. I wasn't happy with how grounded Sword is, if you know what I mean. Because I was expecting it to be.
You're grounded for 5 weeks.
I was expecting it to be more like the Nick Fury stuff, like in Spider-Man Far From Home. And it was really literally just less cool SHIELD.
No.
And that, I was not a big fan of that, but I did love seeing Jimmy Woo again, and the card trick had me laughing for weeks. So, I mean, yeah, good episode. The way it linked everything together, brought back Darcy in a good and meaningful way. It wasn't just because she's a character that exists.
Yeah.
So yeah, good episode. I'd say it's 3 in my ranking, but I don't know. I don't think it's that great because there was a lot of stuff that just not as interesting as the rest of it because it just revealed everything about Sword at one time. So probably like an 8.5-ish.
Alright. I guess I can just go here. Okay, so this episode, it's pretty solid, but I feel like it just kind of dumps like a huge exposition dump of like everything that's going on right at once. Like, I think maybe they should have like not revealed like nearly everything in one episode. It could have been a little bit more gradual, I think. But there were very enjoyable parts of this episode, like Jimmy Woo, the card trick, and Darcy. I actually didn't mind Darcy at all. I think I actually kind of liked her in this, but I don't like her in the Thor movies that much. And Monica, her coming out of the Hex was at the end of this episode, and was also at the end of episode 3 too. But what else? I think it was just like Jazz said, Sword just kind of being like Sword's just kind of boring. It's just like a knockoff of SHIELD kind of, and I don't really like that. And also, it's an episode with Director Hayward in it, and we hate Director Hayward.
It's the wish of SHIELD.
But, you know, overall, it's pretty enjoyable. Definitely better than the other episodes. I just have my problems with it, so I'd give it like an 8.7 out of 10.
Can I go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
One thing to say. You just been Jimmy Woo.
I'm kicking you.
No, don't. It's good. It's good timing. That had to be said in the podcast.
Okay,
Seriously. This is like 3 in my ranking. I really like this episode. Like I said, how the 3rd episode grabbed my attention. This one just kind of like played like volleyball with my attention, you know? Like just, you know, like it went crazy with my attention. It was really nice to kind of take a break from the sitcom and just learn what's going out like in the real world, or I guess in the Marvel world. And yeah, great episode. Love seeing Jimmy Woo again. Love seeing Darcy. Yeah, really good episode, and I would rate it an 8.5.
okay, so, you know, at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home, Nick Fury's on the big space machine. swords in space normally. So I was like, oh, that's awesome. And then I was like, oh, sweet. So we're gonna see Nick Fury again.
Fear clowns. Stop.
Because they say sword. So I'm expecting. Already said WandaVision takes place 2 months before Far From Home. And I thought that, we see him in Sword, and we see the Sword book, so now we're finally going to see comic Sword, which is like S.H.I.E.L.D., but way cooler in space. And it...
Okay. The Holocaust. Oh my god.
You're lucky that's getting cut out.
Anyways, with Sword, I like the first beginning scene where you see the snap from a different angle, like, in Spider-Man Far From Home, they treat it kind of like a joke. I mean, you can see it's bad, but, it's like, the tuba players, they got hit. But, it's treated kind of like a joke, and I wasn't really a big fan of that. So I think it's from, like, you get back after 3 years, it's really disorienting. I like that a lot. And I also like the scene where you see, like, Dead Vision. I thought that was one of the scarier things Marvel has done, and it gave me hope for Doctor Strange 2 being more horror-based, because it definitely was like it has some shock value to it. The rest of the episode was kind of Monica's backstory and where she's been for the past, 5 years. I like that. I feel like there's a lot of exposition dump, and I think they did Sword kind of dirty. I think they could have definitely went more with that. Like, in the comics, Sword is very cool. It's like S.H.I.E.L.D., but cool, and they're in space. And in the movies, it's just like, in the show, it's just like, oh, look, it's kind of the same exact thing as S.H.I.E.L.D.
Except more boring somehow.
Yeah, and so you see it and you're like, oh, well, I guess that's cool. But I like that they bring back Darcy Lewis. I think she's better here than she's been in any singular Thor film I've seen in my entire life. I definitely like Jimmy Woo. I thought he was great in Ant-Man, but here, the Jimmy Woo love being Spider-Man is fantastic.
You just got Jimmy Woo.
Oh no. Oh no.
And then, I love the inclusion of, Darcy finding out it was a sitcom and where the voice came from in the second episode. Explanation for, like, what happened to Monica, the Kevlar pants, and how we learned that Wanda's transforming. Like, I thought that was really cool. But otherwise, I feel like there's definitely some exposition dump. And we could have gone without some of the things that they showed. I think it was a little stretched out. All around, I'd give it a solid 7.5, maybe 7.8. So it's really good, and I enjoyed it.
I thought the Kevlar pants were in episode 5.
Yeah, that was the next episode.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. I think I'll probably just go next now.
Okay.
Here we go. Anyway.
Are you implying off of Gamer?
I also really like this. Yeah.
I also liked it too.
I didn't like Magatha. I think that's how you pronounce her name.
What?
Magatha?
Magatha?
Episode.
Wait. Are you talking about Monica?
She was.
Yes, Monica. Yes.
How does it go to Magatha? MAGA? Are you a Trump supporter?
I get like
I
Agatha.
literally just said that I wasn't. You know what? It's fine.
Make America great again.
This is literally what every Discord call is
Oh my
like.
gosh.
Okay.
Like Jazz said, I didn't really like her backstory because it was fake. It wasn't actually real.
What?
But
That was the last episode, TJ.
That was that's what Jazz said for episode 3.
Can you pay attention for once, please?
I think you haven't been listening to us and you're just waiting for it to
I'll
talk.
give it a 7 out of 10. Just go ahead.
Thank God.
Alright, can someone intelligent
You're
speak?
getting exposed.
You're getting exposed.
I'll go.
Please don't cancel me on Twitter.
Alright,
Bryce.
Episode 4 is probably one of my favorite episodes. It's the first episode where I watched it and I was like, okay, yeah, this show is really good and shit's about to go down. It was definitely what we've been waiting for after watching those 3 episodes. We wanted answers, and we got the most. We got a really basic episode in terms of just explaining what was going on, and I liked that. It felt very grounded, and I think the pacing of this episode was really good. Like, you were interested, like, the whole time. And for first watching, it's amazing, because, like, you finally get this sense of, like, understanding, and you're not confused anymore while watching. And I really enjoyed how they took a break with the whole sitcom thing, because it makes you appreciate the next sitcom episode more. And I really like the introduction of Monica and Jimmy Woo. Of course, Jimmy Woo is a really great character. I really enjoy his scenes, because they're really. I liked him a lot in Ant-Man and the Wasp, but I'm really, really glad they got him instead of just some random FBI dude. And I like the return of Darcy too. She was I wanted to say she was better than she was in Thor, because an unpopular opinion of mine is I actually like her a lot in Thor, but I think they did good at putting her to good use. And this episode is just very solid for me. There's not a lot of complaints or problems I have with it. It's not one of the, like, more special episodes, but, like, it was the first episode where I, like, sat through it, completely enjoyed it, and I was like, yeah, this show is, like, genius, and it's really good. So I give episode 8 9 out of 10.
I really like the part where Wanda fights Agatha.
Oh, shut up.
This is why I hate you.
What did
No,
Gamer say?
guys, it's funny because wrong word.
Alright, wait, does anybody else still have to go?
I'll go.
Sure.
Okay. So this episode, we definitely got a lot of answers, and it was very good to get those answers. I feel like we got more answers than a certain episode, but it was amazing. It was good, and that's all I have to say about it. Like, everyone's already said good things. And
Alright, what's your rating?
With the card trick, was amazing.
Just give your rating.
Okay, my rating is 8. 8.
Okay.
8 out of 8. That sounds like a same number. Get up.
Alright, who still needs to go?
I got nothing to add, so.
I think Jazz is one of the only ones that hasn't gone yet.
No,
Is
just
Jazz even here anymore?
On episode 4? Are we
Yeah.
still on episode 4?
Yeah, because the recording got stopped in between.
Oh, man. Alright. I already went.
did boys go?
Did you? Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
I
yeah,
did.
you did. Alright. I don't remember. I'm sorry. Okay, let's just move on to the next one.
I'll go for episode 5.
Alright, Gamer goes first for episode 5.
Hey, I already said this before we started episode 4.
Yeah,
Shut the
yeah.
fuck up.
Sorry.
I think this is where the series peaked, to be honest. Because, in my eyes, this is the best episode yet. Or best episode in the whole series. I just loved it all. I think it was pretty much just perfect. I love the whole Full House aesthetic with the set, the twins, the intro with the. It was very Full House, and I actually really like Full House as a sitcom.
And if you don't, you're wrong.
I also, what was it? We got a lot more character development on Wanda and Vision, which I really liked. What was it? Wanda using her powers more openly in front of Agnes, which Vision got mad at. And then, was this the episode where they speak to Vision through the computers, or was that a later episode?
Oh, wait, what? Through the computer?
Like, they sent a message at Vision's work through a computer.
Oh, yeah, this was the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that was this one.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, I really like that. Like, Vision kind of just knowing what's happening. And then when he confronts Wanda about it later. And then they have that, they fly up in the air and then they fight about it, which
No,
was
that was
really
episode
good
2.
acting on really good acting on what's her name?
Bethany.
Yeah, and
Elizabeth Olsen.
yes,
How dare
thank you
you.
for the names.
No,
I'm drawing a blank. I also like how Wanda just rolled the credits on Vision. That was nice. And I think it was a good representation of like her mental health, because like we never really got mental health on any of the other heroes. We got some on like Steve with Peggy, and then a little bit with Tony with his PTSD, but both of those weren't very developed. And this episode we got a lot of character development with Sparky dying, and then Wanda having to talk to Wanda having to talk to Tommy and Billy about not bringing back the dead when she does it herself. And it was just really good representation of character. Well, not character, mental health. Because like usually when stuff like that happens, like people go into something to help them through it. Sometimes it's healthy, and sometimes it's not healthy. And this time it wasn't, because she's lying to herself. I just really liked all the sitcom stuff. It was really good. And then the sword stuff with Captain Marvel, like mentioning them. I really like them debating on who would have been Thanos. I found that funny. I like the mention of rewriting material, or like how it looks, but it's still being the same. Which set up like Monica gaining powers later. I also like the inclusion of a bunch of hexagons, because in this episode we saw a lot of hexagons.
Understood.
May I add, was this
Less than an hour left
where...
in the challenge.
Let's go!
What were you saying, TJ?
Okay, may I add, is this the episode where they have the little Halloween festa?
No!
That's next episode.
How do you... Okay.
Oh, this is the episode where Pietro comes.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, Gamer, did you give a rating?
I think it's probably 9, because I think this is the peak of the series.
Yeah.
And I think even though we've been saying like we're upset that the episodes don't really improve a lot, I'm really happy with how it's been so far, like up to episode 5, because it's a really good series up to this point. So who's going next?
Alright, I guess I'll just...
Okay.
Oh, okay, Bryce can go.
Okay. Episode 5. Episode 5 was mediocre for me. Not mediocre, but it was basic. It was...
What?
What do you mean, what?
I mean, what? It's a
Okay, explain.
Episode 5, for me, just didn't have a lot of, there weren't a lot of moments that stood out to me besides the scene at the end with Quicksilver. That made me, really hyped, especially someone...
Wanda came out of the Hex. That was when, Hayward had, like, the drone for Wanda. And this is where we also had, what...
The Vision and Wanda fight at the end?
Vision and Wanda fight, Quicksilver, and then also, I think, a lot of other interesting stuff happened and all that.
You psychopath.
I mean, yeah, it's just not one of the memorable episodes for me as a whole. I felt like it had moments that were good, but then there were other moments that weren't bad, just didn't really stand out to me.
Well, also the kids freaking grew and all that. Yeah, okay. Alright, so what is your rating then? Or do you need any more explanation?
I feel like I need to explain myself when I say it's basic. When I say it's basic, I feel like...
Yes, you do.
I'm rating the episode as a whole, and I feel like the few good moments don't make it, like, the whole thing more interesting to me. It was still entertaining, but, like, at the same time, I feel like it's one of the episodes that, as a whole, I'll forget about, but will only remember those few moments, like the Quicksilver scene and the argument with Wanda and Vision.
I think that's more episode 4. I couldn't remember from episode 4, but I remembered everything here.
Yeah. So, what's a rating then?
You said very few good moments. I definitely disagree.
Okay.
Yeah,
Bryce, what's your rating?
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10 in its basic. Okay.
Alright. I kind of want to say my thoughts here. So, episode 5 is my favorite.
I said it was good.
I mean,
okay.
It's just when you say like 8 out of 10, which is really good, and you're like, oh no, it's basic. It wasn't memorable. I didn't like.
In my eyes, like 10 out of 10 is like really good. Like 8 out of 10 is just like.
What, 8 out of 10 is like average?
Yeah, to me it is. Okay, that's like
that's
like make it to 7 out of 10.
Alright. Okay, whatever. Alright, I want to say my thoughts on this episode. This is probably my favorite one. It was just very intriguing throughout. I love how they balance the sitcom and the sword stuff. I think all that was really interesting. And with the kids growing and all that, I found that pretty cool. And just I actually enjoyed like the sitcom stuff this time, whereas I didn't really that much with the first 3 episodes. And all of like the moments like Wanda going outside the hex and the drone and obviously Quicksilver coming in and Vision figuring out everything that is like going wrong here, and when he and with Norm when he had the like snapped him back to his normal self or whatever. And he was talking about how like kind of what was happening to him. And I thought like that was all very intriguing, and yeah, just all that stuff was very, very great, and I found it to be thoroughly entertaining, and it had like some of the best moments of the entire show, and it's definitely the peak of the show for me. So yeah, 9.5 out of 10 is my rating.
Okay. May I go next?
Yeah.
Okay. I really like this episode. I really liked it. And I did like the kids growing too. And there was a commercial with the shark and the boy.
No, that's a different episode.
That was it, episode 5.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, wasn't that the 90s one, the episode 6?
What episode are
I believe so.
5.
Episode 5.
Okay. Well, yeah.
This was the one where the paper towels. That one.
Oh yeah.
Well, okay. Well, just to keep it short, really like this episode. 8 out of 10 for my.
Hold on, are you sure this one wasn't the Hydro Soak one?
No, I think it says paper towels.
That was last episode, I think.
Last episode didn't have a commercial because
last episode didn't have. Yeah, this one was the Hydro Soak.
All right, whatever.
Can I go?
Yeah.
Alright, so this episode has my favorite moment in the show. I do agree with some things that Legendary said, not the rating, but
Speak.
It's a good episode. It's amazing. I just don't think it had a lot of good moments, but overall, it was a pretty good episode. It was good. It was basic.
Jesus Christ, man.
It was basic for the show. I feel like there's better episodes, but and it still is a good episode for the show.
I don't get how you're calling it basic when it. Okay, whatever.
It's not basic. It's not basic.
Can we talk about how it's like, okay.
I just rated off of what we had so far, and from what we had so far, even without rating it from what we had so far, rating it as an episode right now, it's absolutely fantastic. Like it's one of the better episodes. Like it's high up on my list. It's up there with episode 8.
Mm-hmm.
It was. This was also like in the recap. Like we had an altered version of episode 3. Of like
What?
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. It was an altered line that Wanda said after she threw. At first it was she had to rush home, and then it was she had to go, honey, and then it was she didn't belong here.
All right.
It was shot differently too.
All right.
Yeah. So my rating for this would probably be a 6 or a 7.
Okay.
7.5. It was a good episode. I just feel like there has been better episodes in the show, and there is better episodes.
Okay. All right.
But it does have my favorite moment in the show.
So who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Okay.
This is my favorite episode of the show. I'm gonna say straight out, it's like a 9.5 because Vision stuff was just so cool. Like he discovering like Norm and the computer stuff was really cool, and I loved seeing his conflict and how he just walked in and he was like, and he just completely confronted Wanda. He wasn't like trying to, because he saw what she was doing to people and he was not okay with it, and he wasn't just trying to be all understanding and like, oh, I'm sure there's a good reason. He was like, you're literally stealing people's lives and that's not okay. And they had like that confrontation, and then isn't this the one? This isn't the one that Pietro appeared at the end, is it?
No, it is. At the end of their argument,
and then that was obviously a really cool reveal. So, yeah, great episode all around. I really have very little complaints with it.
And actually, one more thing to add. I'm running the episode back in my head, and I really don't see any low points. Like, you go from... You started off with that great scene of Agatha where, it's intriguing. And then, you've got that intro, and it tells you what area you're in. It's really... Everybody loved that intro. I think that was probably one of the better ones, at least.
Yeah.
And then, you go into her not hiding her magic, and then Vision gets upset. And then, he goes to work because of that, and he finds out that stuff with Norm. And while he's at work, the dog dies. So he comes back from work. He's like, this is bad. And they have the confrontational part, and then Quicksilver. Like, there's no dip down. There's no part of that.
And then there's a lot of intriguing moments with Sword, too. Like, finding out with the clothing, like, everything being rewritten. Can't speak, but yeah.
Sword is probably the worst parts of this episode, and even then it's pretty good.
And the sitcom stuff was like very, very good.
I like when Agatha she was like, I didn't finish my sentence.
Agatha.
Shut the fuck up, kill yourself, you orphan, fucking orphan.
Stop.
I don't care about your podcast. Anyways, I like when Agatha was like, do you want me to redo the line? That was just messing with her.
No.
Fucking orphan.
Alright, so who else wants to go?
Up you.
Huh? What'd you say?
I'll go.
Thank you, bitch.
Alright.
Oh, because I'm black. I don't share.
Okay, I'm gonna take your admin if you don't shut up.
Not really going to share my thoughts about it, because basically everyone else did. They probably said it much better than I could have. And I basically have most of the same thoughts as you guys, except Legendary, because I don't think it's like mediocre. I really like this episode, and I would put it on like rank, like it's third ranked on my thing, because they changed it a little bit. And I would rate it a solid 8.5 out of 10.
Okay. Anyone else that needs to go?
Can I go first on the next episode?
No.
No, Timber's going first.
No.
Oh my god, why does he go first every first?
Okay, alright, episode 6. So, who's going first? Gamer or Yaz?
I'm saying usually I have more to say. Gives me time to think.
Alright, I'll go first, though.
Fine.
So, this is the Halloween episode, yeah?
Yep.
I thought Evan Peters was great. All the stuff involving him was a lot of fun. And I'll look back on my experience watching this one fondly before I found out what he was actually doing there and what he actually became. Because I was a lot more into this before I found that out. But yeah, I think this is great. The moment with Vision trying to escape, all that was so cool. But I think we forgot to mention, I do want to mention about Hayward. I don't like him, but I also don't like the way they handled him. They selected this one character to be the black and white villain, and like, there was no gray with him. He was just a total douche no matter what.
I hate him.
So, that bothered me a little bit. But, and I saw a little bit of that in this episode, not a whole lot. But, I just thought the Vision stuff was really cool, and then how Wanda extended the hex. That was in this episode, right? That was the end of this episode. So, yeah, that was sick. Just pretty darn good episode all around. I'd probably give it like a 9, like a 8.5 to a 9. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Who goes next?
EJ.
Yeah.
Here we go, boys.
I love this episode. I really did. I love the what is it? The Halloween theme.
No.
I really. Isn't this the Halloween episode?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I really love
Kill yourself.
the whole atmosphere of that episode. It was really awesome. And a lot of people didn't understand the little commercial, the shark and the little boy commercial.
You understand?
But I did. And I'm gonna kind of explain it in this little bit of time I have to speak.
Please do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, they had the little shark, and then he gave him the yogurt, and then he ate it. He couldn't. Yo magic, yes. And he wasn't able to open it, and then he died.
You're just explaining the theme.
Yeah, okay.
So basically, what that means was
Let him finish.
you can't bring, you can't have magic to bring the dead back to life. Something like
Yeah,
that.
that's exactly what she did.
No, he's explaining the metaphor of the scene, not what she did.
Dumbass.
You're a dumbass.
There, stop, please. Let's not get in a fight on this podcast.
Oh my god, man. Alright, but yeah. Yeah. And
Hurry the
it
fuck up.
was kind of referring to something, which, you know. So, yeah. But, yeah.
I want to cut out everything TJ says. You know what? What if I cut out everything he said before, but just leave him to
No,
laugh?
please don't. That was wonderful.
You
know.
Just go ahead and have that in. TJ, it's your turn. Yeah, you know.
Alright.
Have it say. I really,
God
when I
damn.
think about this episode, if you know, you know.
Alright, who wants to go first? Let's try and finish this podcast before the timer goes off.
Good luck.
Because we got 39 minutes.
How much?
Can I go?
Yeah.
We're on 6, right?
Yep. Halloween.
Alright. So, episode 6 is an absolute 1 out of 10 for me. I really did not enjoy it. I was bored throughout the entire time.
You're joking,
It was
right?
really stupid. I wish we got more scenes with Quicksilver. I feel like it was very sidelined through the whole episode. I feel like the episode isn't about him.
But it's Wanda's show.
Can you please say JK? Can you please say JK?
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm being fucking hyper. Oh, God. Episode 6, actually, no joke, is probably one of, if not my favorite episode in the entire series. and that's mainly because of Quicksilver. I like when I was in like 3rd grade, which is around the time where Age of Ultron came out. I was like obsessed with Quicksilver. Like I would watch like Quicksilver compilations on YouTube, and like seeing his speed again for some reason, like seeing like the blue streak behind him was like really like satisfying. Like it really felt like I loved that Quicksilver was back, and I was really hoping we could get a good explanation for him, but unfortunately, the explanation for Quicksilver being there was very poor.
Well,
but
the explanation was fantastic.
No, yeah, what are you talking about? That was the best part of the show.
Yeah, it was actually hilarious. That moment was very funny. Probably like
it subverted my expectations, so it's automatically good.
Yeah,
just like Last Jedi.
But yeah, even besides Quicksilver, I really like the twins a lot more. And this is the episode where I started to like the twins a lot more. Like they were fine in the past episodes, but to me, I feel like they started to not just because they got their powers. I like them in the scenes before because I like their dynamic with Pietro. It was very wholesome to see, and I just like the whole I like the whole thing with like Pietro acting like an uncle to them. But Vision when Vision was like dying, that was a really uncomfortable scene to watch, and it was very brutal actually, in my opinion, because like seeing Vision like helpless again was like, you know, it was rough to see, and I like that they went that mile because it made us worried for Vision again. Like when we were watching Infinity War in the theater, we had like this genuine worry in our stomachs for Vision because he's like he had a target on his head, and we feel that same worry now. And I really like the tension that they built with that scene. Overall, this episode probably I had the most fun with and enjoyed the most, especially with the comic accurate Quicksilver outfit. 9 out of 10 for me. I really enjoyed this episode.
Can I go?
No. I'm kidding. You can go.
Okay. Yeah, this is by far, well, not by far. This is my favorite episode of the series. Really loved it. I think it was just the most fun episode of all. You know, seeing like all that stuff with Vision, that was really interesting to see, and I liked that Vision got his kind of own time to shine. And I think watching it again, I probably actually liked it more watching it again. So I think it scores a lot of rewatchability points because, you know, you kind of pick up on some of the things that Quicksilver is saying to Wanda, knowing that Agnes is controlling her. I mean, him. So, yeah, really, really good episode. Really liked it. And I would give it a 9.3. And it's not by far. It's my favorite episode of the series.
Can I go?
No.
Me, I guess.
No, okay, Evermore, you can go on.
Alright. So, again, basically what GNA said, this is my favorite episode. I love Quicksilver. Definitely one of my favorite X-Men. And I just love the actor. I don't know why his name is blanking on me now.
Evan Peters.
Evan Peters. He's a beautiful man. He's a beautiful man.
Full homo.
But I love him. I love this episode. That was very Quicksilver based, and just to see Wiccan and Speed get their powers was amazing. Vision's time to shine and all. Yeah, again, the Vision scene where he was dying was extremely
When nobody
hard.
has mentioned Wanda's outfit yet.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I was gonna say.
His outfit in this episode.
I'm not even trying to be horny.
No, we're not. We're just saying it's a good outfit. It's a good outfit.
Everyone's
Good
not
costume.
It's a good outfit.
I was the one who mentioned it.
Yeah. good episode. My favorite episode of the series. 10 out of 10.
Oh, damn. Okay. I guess I'll just go next. I think this is my second favorite.
No, I'm behind you, Greenbird.
Okay, so this is my second favorite episode of the series. I feel like I love the Halloween aspect of it, and just having Quicksilver in there, Evan Peters, was great. Very fun. I actually like the twins, Billy and Tommy, and the Vision stuff. Him kind of going around Westview and like that area where people barely move. I thought that was really cool, and his interaction with Agnes in the car and her laughing, like that was the moment where I was like, okay, she has to be Agatha. And then Vision going outside, trying to go outside the hex. I thought that was really cool, and it was just a very fun episode, easy to watch, and it's really enjoyable, and yeah, so I give it a 9.4, so just a decimal below episode 5.
Please.
I like the outfits for the characters where it was the original costumes, and I like the scene where Vision was exploring the hex and how most people are acting like they're just background characters. It's kind of like a video game where if you were to go out of bounds, the characters wouldn't move as much. And I thought that was pretty cool. And knowing that Wanda's actually controlling all of them at once is pretty cool. I like Vision attempting to go out the hex and seeing Darcy. That was cool. But yeah, it's a good episode. Probably give like a 9 out of 10. Good episode.
Alright, and is Greenbird next?
Yeah, I guess it's me. Episode 6 was great, which I know everybody said, but...
Wow, leaving the black person last.
Episode 6 was great.
First the back of the bus, now the back
Shut
of the
up.
line.
I think it ended a little abruptly, but that's just my opinion. I think there could have been more. Otherwise, it was great. I loved it. That's about it.
Okay. What's your rating?
8.5 out of 10. Pretty good.
Okay. Gamer?
To be honest, I wasn't paying attention to what anyone said. I really liked the episode. It was, I liked the, Quicksilver with the bullets in his chest. And,
Oh, yeah,
Age
that
of Ultron
part was cool.
really one of my favorite MCU movies, even though it's everyone hates it. So I just really love seeing Quicksilver and then all the Age of Ultron stuff. And it was really nice and fun. I think it's either... It's definitely top 5, maybe second best or third best episode, in my opinion. Still doesn't beat episode 5, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay, so everyone got their
I'd
thoughts?
say 8.5.
Okay, so everyone got their thoughts right?
Should be.
Alright. So, on to episode 7. Who wants to go first? Wow.
Episode 7 is like The Office. Is it The Office?
Yeah, it's the Modern Family Office one.
Yeah.
Modern Family.
Well, now I'm just gonna lower it down because it's Modern Family, not The Office.
What?
I like...
Wait, what do you have against Modern Family?
I just like The Office more.
I mean, yeah, it's still in like the same kind of style as The Office too. What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty sure Modern Family came in first, anyways.
Yeah. Like, alright, who cares?
I like Vision trying to figure out what was going on, and then he meets up with Darcy, and pretty much reveals, Darcy tells him what happened to him. I like Monica getting her powers, but I didn't like how her friend was just a wasted person who he didn't know, instead of someone, I don't know, just someone who did something.
Huh? Not every character needs...
I like hearing the thought process. Well, when she was going into the hex, you could hear voices, and I liked hearing that. That was cool. Or Agatha saying some questionable stuff. like fighting a kid.
Agatha all along.
Yeah, that was a good episode. I'd probably give it like maybe an 8. Yeah, an 8 because it's not The Office. It's modern.
Shut the fuck up.
I really hate you.
Alright, I kind of want to talk about this episode right now. So, I think this episode kind of missed the mark for me because not really much happens in this. We see, like, the stuff with Wanda I didn't really like too much. This felt kind of, I wasn't really as invested in this one as I was the previous 3 episodes. Like, I think the twins are enjoyable again. I think, not quite as much as the last episode. Vision and Darcy, they were good. And Vision, I'm not amused. That meme. But yeah, I think it's just not too much happens. Like, I think Monica getting her powers was great, but yeah, like the stuff with Wanda, and then just Vision and Darcy going in the truck thing, and then getting stopped by like traffic and all that. Wanda doing the stuff. I felt it was good, but it just kind of missed the mark and wasn't as good as the last few episodes. Wasn't as intriguing. And I think just the sitcom elements weren't really fun anymore. It just felt kind of bland for me. But the Agatha reveal was cool. The Agatha all along, I like that. And yeah, I mean, 7.2 out of 10, it's fine, but definitely missed the mark in a lot of places for me.
7 because Agatha killed Sparky.
And I killed Sparky too. Alright, who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Okay.
I think that I feel the same way about episode 5. I feel the same way about episode 7, how I feel about episode 5. I feel like not a lot, like, dramatic stuff happens besides the end. I think the episode is just, it's fun, but, like, not a lot of exciting stuff happens, which is fine. It's just, it can get boring at times, and it's not one of the most rewatchable episodes. Like, I can rewatch it. I just wouldn't. I like some of the moments, like, where Wanda is, like, changing stuff around the house. Those are, like, fun little scenes, and I enjoy those. Those are fun to watch. And I like Monica getting her powers. It was fun because that was a lot of people's theories, and it was fun seeing one of our theories come true because a lot of our theories didn't come true. So that was fun. But besides that, I feel like there are a lot of episodes that surpass this one, and I would just like if I were rewatching WandaVision, like based on episodes that like really excited me, I would most likely skip that one. But I do really enjoy it, so I'm gonna give it a 7.8 out of 10.
Who wants to go next?
Gamer Dash. Who?
Someone talk.
Sorry. I didn't enjoy this one as much as I thought I would because I actually like Modern Family as a sitcom. It's one of my favorites that I've watched throughout the years. But this one, it was just a lot less enjoyable to me. Even though I think it was a good episode.
They didn't really execute the sitcom as well as they did in the past.
Yeah, just something was really off about it that I can't put my finger on. Like, they did a good job, like, at making it feel like Modern Family or The Office with the way it's shot. Because I watched Modern Family, and the way they shoot in the angles is really, it's much like Modern Family, or both of those shows. I wasn't really paying attention to anyone either.
Also, I kind of want to mention, like, all the other episodes, like, the colors are so vibrant and stuff, and here is the most dull-looking episode.
Yeah, true. I think that's more of, like, the rainy aspect of it, but
Like, yeah, it's not
Something
as
was
visually
kinda
interesting
like-
with the colors and all that. Like the last episode, and like just all the previous episodes were great, with like all the colors, and this one was just kind of very bland looking.
I guess I'll go. Episode 7. I don't know. It was definitely a downgrade. Big downgrade. I didn't like it. I think that it lacked in a lot of areas. I think that it was just kind of filler. And I think that compared to what we had got and what we have now, it was definitely one of the lower episodes. It's like at the bottom of my list somewhere, like maybe number like 9 or 8, and I'm not a fan.
I think it's a lot better than, like, say, episode 1 and 2. And I think it's a good episode.
I wouldn't really say it's a lot better than episode 1 and 2, but I mean, yeah, I can agree with that.
Can I go?
Yeah, you don't have to ask if you can go. Just go.
So, yeah, this episode wasn't really that great. It was kind of fine. I like the Modern Family aesthetic because I watched Modern Family and I really like Modern Family, so I like that part. Darcy, I feel like Darcy is just kind of there during the episode. You know, like she just drives with Vision, and Vision just leaves the car, and then you just never see her again until the finale. So I feel like Darcy is kind of wasted in this episode.
I mean,
Wanda,
she didn't really need
I
to do too
honestly
much,
think
though.
at the beginning, Wanda's kind of annoying because she's complaining about her children, and her children are like some of the best behaved children ever. So that's just kind of irritates me for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, this episode was definitely a downgrade from the last one since that was like really good. So yeah, that's really it.
I think we kind of judge this one harsher because the last 2 episodes were so good, but it still just kind of fell flat.
Yeah. That I think that's true for sure. But it's just something was really off about it, and I don't know why. And I really wish I could provide more, like, commentary.
Yeah. We got 21 minutes left on the timer for the 48-hour challenge, though.
We're on episode 7.
Yeah.
Okay, then we can finish this.
All right. Who else wants to go? Please don't repeat anyone else. If you don't have anything new to say, just give your rating.
Oh yeah, I forgot to give my rating. I'll say
rating.
It's like a 6.5 or a 7.
I'd say 7. Like, it's still a good episode. It's just it wasn't very it wasn't executed as well. Yeah. Like, fundamentally, it's really good, but just didn't execute it well.
All right, who else needs to speak?
Greenbird?
Are we on episode 8?
No, just give your rating.
Oh, rating. I forgot to. 5.5.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
I don't like this episode.
Jeez.
I can't really blame you there.
Episode 8.
I think the saving grace for me was just the interactions between Darcy and Vision that were enjoyable.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who else? I need more people to speak because I know there's more people here than just 4.
I haven't heard Jazz talk in a while.
Yeah, Jazz. Is he even here?
Jazz may not even be like years.
Mabel hasn't talked in about an hour.
Jazz is muted, okay. Alright, so who needs to speak? So, someone.
TJ.
We're moving on.
Okay.
Alright, let's
Yeah.
move on. I'm kidding. TJ, you can speak.
Yeah, this episode was really mediocre for me, honestly. There were some good moments in there and some bad moments for me, but yeah, in general, it was just mediocre.
Okay, what's your rating?
Like maybe like a low 7 or 6.
Okay. Alright, I guess since, like, wait, is anyone else gonna talk? Okay, I guess. Or wait, Blaze?
Yeah, I already talked about episode
Okay, alright, so let's move on.
Episode
Alright, episode 8. Who wants to go first?
7.
I'll go.
Alright.
Yay. Episode 8 for me. I actually really liked episode 8. I think a lot of people feel like, oh, it's underwhelming because there wasn't a lot of climactic parts. But I think this episode does what it was trying to do, and it does it really well. I liked the flashbacks. It really solidifies Wanda's character because she's a side character in most of everything that she's in, and you don't get a lot of backstory with her. But with this episode, you see very clear, crystal clear motivations, and you really, with the past of the MCU, it was kind of a tell, don't show kind of thing. We hear that Wanda has been through a lot with Sokovia and stuff like that. They tell us that. We don't really see it. And I think the fact that they showed us her pain really makes us care more about her as a character because now we know how she felt. We know how she viewed the thing with Stark's weapons and so on. So I really love the scene with the Civil War flashback because I think having them mention Civil War was very imperative. That's where Wanda and Vision's relationship started to that's where it started to bloom, their whole romantic relationship. So I really like seeing a callback to Civil War. And overall, it's just a very solid episode. There's not a lot of problems with it, in my opinion. Just that it can be a bit slow in some areas, but nothing too drastic. I give this episode a solid 9 out of 10. It was really enjoyable, and I liked seeing... it was just a very emotional ride. I feel like there was nothing really happy with this episode. You see her with Sword, and she's like, I can't feel you, which is a callback to Infinity War. And I like this episode for what it was trying to do. It had a very clear message on what it wanted the viewer to feel, and it executed that very well. So 9 out of 10 for me. I like this episode.
Who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Okay.
I'm trying to find... Shit, sorry.
No worries. I really like this episode. Definitely my second favorite episode of the series, cause you really, really just Legendary said, really just shows you the pain that Wanda is going through, and it really makes you just empathize with her a lot more. Cause in the previous episode, I didn't really like Wanda's character there. This episode, I feel super bad for her because she went through a whole bunch of stuff, and I like how they did the sitcom thing with Wanda watching sitcoms with their family when they were younger and stuff. And I kind of like how they, I wouldn't say proved the X gene stuff, but maybe alluded to it with Wanda already having powers. I don't know if she just had powers or if she had the X gene, but whatever. I like that part. Yeah, it was a really good episode. Really liked the dynamic and romance of Vision Wanda, and I would rate it an 8.7.
Alright, who's going next?
Yeah, I like what Jane said. I like that they left the doors open instead of restricting themselves to Wanda got her powers just from the Infinity Stone or the Mind Stone, and now they leave the door open for mutants or maybe something else.
Yeah.
Have I said anything about episode 8 yet?
No.
Well,
I also
Gamer's
like
currently going.
Salem Witch is very cool. But didn't they have a discrepancy with the origin of Wanda? Weren't they eating dinner and not watching TV? Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Wait, what? I don't know if that would be explained in canon, or I don't know. Maybe it's just a whole. What are you talking about? So in Age of Ultron, I think it was Age of Ultron. Wanda said that a bomb dropped when the family was having dinner. But in episode 8, they were watching TV.
How do you remember that?
Well, Maple told me.
Oh, okay. Alright, so what's your rating for it?
I don't know. I like the episode. It kind of bored me at parts.
Alright.
I like little details. Ooh, I really love the Avengers HQ thing. Or was it compound? The compound. I really like that scene. That was
When Vision talked to Wanda?
Yeah, if I didn't remember that, I'd probably rate it lower.
Yeah.
So, 8.
Okay.
Guess it's my turn?
Yeah.
Okay. Episode 8 is my favorite episode. I loved everything about it. I loved delving into Wanda's backstory. I loved that it revealed she always had chaos magic. I loved Agnes being there, like the devil on her shoulder. And I loved her going through all the certain places and like through her memories and all those little hints at and like aforementioned moments. I also like when it shows her to Westview and you see all the people who have become under her mind control. I think that was really cool, and I love the two grow old men scene. I thought that was really sad. That shit made me tear up. I think that this was. I've always been a character driven guy when it comes to Wandavision. So whenever I see character driven moments, I was like, wow, that's so awesome and sexy. So this entire episode, it was filled with character development and character development and character driven episode. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah.
And this one goes out to Aqua. If you're watching this, your opinion about this episode is wrong. Episode 10 10. Fantastic.
I didn't like the CGI that much.
What episode are we on?
Episode 8.
Episode 8.
Alright, so I want to give my opinion. So, at first, on my first watch, I liked it for sure, but I felt like I wasn't really expecting it to be slowed down so much. But then I've started to really like it a lot more, and yeah, it's a very character driven episode, and I really like that. It's kind of an awkward placing though, like when you have a slower episode as the second to last episode in the series. But like when you think about it, it's the calm before the storm, I guess. And I love delving into Wanda's past, like you guys said, and like the way it was done was cool, and Agatha piecing together how this world was created, and I love the scene where Wanda actually creates the world and stuff, and when she goes to like see Vision's body, and when she's like, I can't feel you, that was emotional, and also the scene, Wanda and Vision in the Avengers compound talking, when Vision said, what is grief if not love persevering, I love that line, and just really everything about this episode, mostly everything about this episode I liked, and yeah, it's definitely, I think it's my third favorite episode. I'd give it a 9.3 out of 10. It is really, really good. So who wants to go next?
What makes it worse, well, not worse, lower on the list of like episodes for me is CGI a bit. I like Catherine Hahn being de-aged. I think that was done well. But like a lot of the magic just looked weird and awkward to me.
Yeah.
And with the acting,
I think that's more. You can notice that more in the finale. Because at times in the finale the CGI was kind of off. But we can talk about that later.
I didn't like when Catherine Hahn was like screaming when she was getting like blasted by all those witches. It just seemed really fake to me, and I didn't like it.
Oh, we have 9 minutes left on the timer for the 48-hour challenge. Oh no.
Episode what is it? 9. Let's go.
No. Shut up. Everyone hasn't talked about episode 8 yet.
No, we don't care about your opinion. Let's go.
No. Who else? Alright, give some ratings if you don't have anything new to say.
10 out of 10. That's it.
Okay.
Damn.
Anyone else?
Alright, I'll say what I think of it.
KKK, you fucking racist.
Stop.
I think it's... This episode, I have this one at... Okay, this is 8. I have this one at number 6 in my ranking.
Oof.
It could switch around... Like 6, 5, and 4 could switch around a bit, but overall, the big thing that pulled this down for me is I don't like Catherine Hahn. Like, I think she's a good actress, but I think the way the character, and I'm not going to say it's all her fault, but the way the character was portrayed and written, it just was really cringy to me, and that's the best way I can describe it, because it just felt so hokey and unreal, and I was hoping for a more sinister force behind some of the stuff that was going on, where that wasn't Wanda, because Wanda just turns into a hero and gets off free at the end. So, yeah, I just, overall, the episode, all the stuff with Wanda's flashbacks was really cool. I loved that, but, I just found myself cringing a lot and feeling like there was a lot of unnatural stuff.
What are we talking about?
I'd probably give it like an 8.7, because I don't think it deserves a 9, but it's good.
Alright.
I don't remember what
Anyone else?
I think we're on episode, 8?
Yeah, just give a rating.
What?
Just give it a rating. I don't care about your opinion.
Alright. So does anyone else want to speak on it? Okay, no one's going to speak. Alright, let's move on to episode 9. Alright, here we go, the finale, episode 9.
We've all been waiting for it.
Alright, who wants to go first?
I feel like I went first a lot, so
Yeah, I'm gonna let someone
What
else
if
go
I
Yeah.
go first?
Go first.
Alright.
Go first.
So, episode 9, I'm torn on this, because on one hand, there are some cool sequences in this, especially Wanda saying goodbye to Vision and the kids. I felt that was a very, very good scene, probably the best scene of the entire episode. But what bugs me is kind of Wanda just getting off with, like, not many consequences, really, and her kind of, in the framing, just, like, kind of being the hero, but not really, I guess. Like the story treats her as a hero, I guess, is the best way to say it. And Agatha, like Jazz said in the last episode, felt just really silly and cringy like that. I didn't like her in this episode. Last episode, I didn't mind her that much, but this one, I didn't like her. And I didn't... So, yeah, episode 9, it was, I think it was a very mixed bag. I feel like it delivered well in some areas, like with the Wanda saying goodbye to Vision scene and her kids too. I felt that was very impactful and emotional, even though we know with the Vision scene, like, that white Vision lives, and that's basically, like, the real Vision, I guess. So, but still, it was emotional at the end. And, Wanda becoming the Scarlet Witch, I think, was very cool. That was probably the best moment, or the second best moment of the episode. But also, it's just, like, I don't feel like we needed a big CGI fight to end off this show. We could have had maybe another... I mean, obviously there would have been action in this episode, but I feel like maybe it could have been more creative with the action too, but also, like, more impactful stuff with the characters and all that. This finale wasn't, like, too impactful for me personally, and I don't know, it's just something felt kind of off about it too. It's just, I don't really know what it was, but I do like the when Vision and White Vision are talking about the ship of Theseus. That was really cool. And what?
Nothing.
Okay, so yeah. So Yeah, but it's just a lot of moments where I feel like it didn't deliver, especially with Wanda at the end. Like, she kind of got off scot-free, and I feel like she should have had more consequences and all that. It's just, it felt kind of rushed in some areas, I think. And, yeah, it didn't really deliver as much for me, but I'm kind of come to terms with it, and can enjoy it for what it is, but it still really didn't deliver as much. So I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Good, not great.
Well, damn.
Great review. I like.
Alright, who's going next?
Alright, I guess I'll sync up the place for my review. Very stinky. Why? Basically, you go into it, and you're like, okay, this is the finale. The last episode was very character-based, and we're obviously leading up to something where Wanda shows, like, it's been leading up to her becoming the villain, and then they're like,
oh, yeah.
She gets away for like, scot-free.
Yeah, I hate that.
She, like, beats Agatha, and it's, like, this heroic moment. She, me no likey, okay? And also, we've got the rest. Oh, Ship of Thesis. I love Ship of Thesis. Everything with Vision, fantastic. Everything with Wanda, not that good. There were some great moments, like her becoming the Scarlet Witch, reminded me of Phoenix. Very, very cool. The end credit scene, the second one, was awesome. First one with the Skrulls, stupid. Shut up. The Skrulls should not want to do Secret Invasion. There's no dumb, big dummy, stupid dumb. Yeah, it was pretty stinky. I don't like the scene with the kids and Monica because she's kind of the entire episode she's standing in one spot, and then this, like, the fucking Hayward, who's supposed to be, like, a military director, so obviously knows not to do something. He's like, I'm gonna shoot these kids, and he pulls out, like, this fucking clock.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and when Monica gets in front, he still keeps on freaking shooting.
He's still shooting.
It's like, bro, what? God damn.
And so, I was like, I like the part where she has to close the hex, but her kids are like, we're dying, and she's like, oh, fuck. That was pretty cool. But,
I love that description.
Yeah. Otherwise, I give it like a 5.5.
Oh, wow.
A little bit better than episode 7, but still on the stinky meter, very stinky. I wouldn't want to be near it with a 10-foot pole. That shit is gonna smell.
I understand where you're coming from. Alright, who wants to go next?
I will.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Whoever is playing this should have played this in episode 7.
Probably just.
Yeah, probably this.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Alright, Bryce?
But yeah, episode 9 is an episode that I actually liked a lot rewatching it. Literally, when I rewatched it, probably the only thing that I actually, like, still didn't really like that much was the fucking Quicksilver joke with the boner.
Oh, we didn't even mention that yet. Yeah, my gosh.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. That's peak Marvel. Like, okay.
Shut up.
Come on,
yeah,
everybody was expecting
they take a beloved character and they make him into a boner joke. That was terrible.
Everyone who was expecting fucking Evan Peters.
Delicious!
Shut up. I'm muting you.
What?
Hey, wait, he got to say it once. Remember? Got to say it once.
Fine.
Everybody who was expecting it was like, well, they didn't say his name, and they never said that. The only similarity is that they look exactly the same and act very close together, and they don't have the same name. Like, okay, they act almost the same. They're identical, and they took Quicksilver and messed him up, just like they did in 2016 with Age of Ultron. They took him, made him, and wasted him.
Yeah.
Here with Evan Peters, Doctor Strange is called Multiverse of Madness. They could have easily explained that with Agatha bringing, like, she was one of the stronger witches. She brings him out of the multiverse, but no, they're like, okay, make him a boner joke.
Gosh, yeah. All right, Bryce, can you continue with your review?
Yeah. When I first saw the scene with Quicksilver in episode 5, I believe, I was hyped to the fucking roof. I was so excited to see what they did with him. I was looking forward to this finale mainly because I wanted to see the explanation for him being there, and the best they could come up with was he was just another normal guy. He just looks like Evan Peters for no reason, knowing that he looks exactly like that and acts exactly like that in another universe. But besides getting past that, a lot of stuff was pretty solid for me. I liked the fight. The fight between White Vision and Vision was actually really, really great. I like how much impact it has. Like, they crash into stuff. Like, they're very...
Yeah, that fight was actually good with, like, their phasing and stuff, too. That was... I just didn't like the Wanda versus Agatha fight that much.
Like, it's essentially two metal, like, mind you, the strongest metal on Earth. Two metal beings fighting, and it feels like that. It feels heavy, it feels impactful, and it's good. I really like that.
Especially when he throws him into that vehicle and it's just like the giant explosion from it.
Yeah, that was cool.
Sorry to interrupt, but in that scene, as Vision's walking away, White Vision, you can see the heat ripple, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I love heat ripples in movies. It always feels like super environmental. I like when they do that. But the fight with Vision, I really wanted them to elaborate on White Vision, because I actually got really hyped when they started when he started getting his memories back, because I was like, oh cool, now Vision's kind of officially alive now. So I thought what they were gonna do was have him join the fight or something.
Yeah, or that disappointed me too, because he just disappeared.
I don't really have that much of a problem with how he disappeared, just because I guess it's never too late to explain where he went after that, but I just wish they did something with him. I think they could have replaced the Skrulls thing with a White Vision post-credit scene, and maybe have him go to the Avengers. Well, wait, shit, the Avengers compound fucking blew up. Make him go somewhere. But yeah, I like the action between Wanda and Agnes after she gets the suit. I feel like before that it was okay. And I agree. I would like to add on to Noah. I agree that her getting basically no consequences feels very out of character for Wanda, because she always seemed like the kind of person who held herself guilty for everything and was always willing to turn herself in. Like, she felt like that in Civil War. And that wasn't even her fault. So when she willingly put those people under all that torture, she would feel so guilty that she would turn herself in. But she becomes this self-proclaimed hero in a way, because she thinks I don't like that she just went away.
I don't think she's proclaiming herself as a hero or anything like that. But her walking through the city, she had her hood up and all that, and she seemed kind of remorseful, but not really at the same time. It was kind of confusing, because
yeah.
No.
And I like how she's starting to feel more evil. Like, in the post-credit scene, she has this very sinister look on her face. And it makes me excited for Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, I just wish she was a little bit more... She became more evil in this episode instead of being more the hero, because the whole show, leading up, like Greenbird said, leading up to her being a villain. That's what I didn't like. I wish there was a more sinister ending, I guess. But, what we got...
guys, she saved the people, and she beat Agnes for the witch.
With what we got, I'm fine.
Can I say my thing?
I'm fine with what we got, kind of, but also disappointed at the same time.
Before you say something, Jed?
Sure.
One thing I do like is I feel like it had kind of a Gravity Falls feel with Agnes explaining what happens in the future, in the Darkhold, and saying you have no idea what you just unleashed. I like when they set something up like that to be explained in the future. It had a kind of, in my opinion, a Gravity Falls feel with the mystery of it all. And I really hope they do something good with that, because that stuff I like when they set up a mystery for the far future. But yeah, overall, the episode for me has I have a love-hate relationship with it, because I was expecting more while watching it for the first time, but after rewatching it, I can appreciate it a little more. I wish my first viewing experience was a little more enjoyable, but again, like Noah said, I appreciate it for what it is, and I think it's a very rewatchable episode because you're having a good time like while watching it because it has a very fun dynamic with the kids, and I like the callback to Days of Future Past. Very very solid episode for me, but there are episodes that are better in my opinion. I give episode 10 a 9 out of 10.
Oh.
Not 10. Episode 9, sorry. I give episode 9 a 9 out of 10.
Alright, who wants to go next?
Alright. So, overall, I just think there's a lot of just stuff in this episode that didn't quite sit right with me. Like, I didn't like a lot of the CGI. I didn't like that Wanda and Agatha's fight was just, I mean, I've said this before, but just big Marvel CGI light show.
Yeah, they're just shooting mad for each other.
It felt so just, I don't know, unearned, because we just discovered Agatha was Agatha at the end of the 2 episodes ago, and then we spent an episode where they were just jumping back through Wanda's memories, and now they're just throwing lasers at each other. I think Agatha is just a super weak villain overall, but because I mean we fall victim to the literal, more literal here than most, of the villain Marvel trope of them just being an evil version of the character. Agatha, evil version of Wanda. White Vision, literally Vision. Now they do something cool with him.
White Vision
He's my favorite.
Good, but
he's my favorite part because Vision, we know, is such a powerful character if he's not in Infinity War. So he going up against someone just like him, the way they used their phasing was really creative, and it was a fun fight, good choreography and such. So that was my favorite part of the episode. The Ship of Theseus conversation was really just a cool insight further into how Vision's mind works. Like, he's very in tune with this kind of thing. So, yeah, just great there overall. But then even Agatha's vision with how Wanda had to be in the vision, and they started attacking her, and then she's strong, so she escapes. It's just a lot of stuff that I was just like, that's not how it should be, because she didn't have to go into the vision in Age of Ultron when she was giving Iron Man and Cap and Thor visions. So I just don't really know where to place it. The other thing is, I would like to see Wanda as a villain, and I feel like the post-credit scene did kind of tease her as a villain a little bit, but then it shouldn't have ended how it did, because that undoes a lot.
It's a very confusing ending.
Her whole story was how she started as the villain, taking all these people's lives and messing with all this stuff, and then at the end she had to let them go, and that was a character arc. That's a good character arc, and now she's just going to regress back to being a villain. I think it should have ended with a tragedy of her losing them and not being able to say goodbye, and I think the reason they didn't do that is because Marvel doesn't have the balls to lose their viewers who don't appreciate stories like that.
Yeah, see, that's what I was talking about.
My mom would not be happy with that ending.
Yeah, I would love that ending of her just not being able to say goodbye and all that. This felt like Wanda doesn't earn this stuff. She shouldn't. It just feels off when she gets to say goodbye to her family, her fake family, and then she just kind of walks through Westview, and then that's about it.
Right, and then she's a villain. So, yeah, I'm going to say 8 for now, but it could be a little bit lower or a little bit higher depending on the mood I'm in, or depending on which scene I'm watching, because
it's a very confusing episode for me.
I just don't like.
On my feelings.
Wanda getting her suit was sick, though.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool. Alright, that's all I've got.
Alright, who else wants to go?
I would.
Who was that? Was that TJ or Greenbird?
That's TJ.
Yeah, at that point, TJ actually sounded kind of like Greenbird there. TJ.
Okay. Yeah, this wasn't a good episode, in my opinion. I didn't really like it that much. Yeah, it wasn't. So, I just give it like a low 6.
Damn.
But yeah.
So, anyone else have any thoughts?
I didn't really see Wanda as the hero, as you guys thought, or like they were making her seem like the hero. I saw it more as like she did the right thing, but she wasn't happy about it, and it felt like more like she was getting like detached from her emotions at the end of the fight. It seemed like she took a big loss, and she just wasn't feeling much after that.
And then I think it was a huge switch after that when she's like reading the book and she hears her children. She's like, oh no, I gotta go save them. After she just was like, no, finally I've come to acceptance. And I've accepted that grief is okay, but just kidding.
I mean, yeah, but I think it's more realistic that way, and I prefer realism over that.
I don't know, I think it's a huge tone switch, and I think it kind of...
Yeah, I agree with you, Greenbird.
Just for me, Wanda's the most realistic character. I like that regression.
Actually, she does magic, and I can't do magic.
Shut up.
Please shut the fuck up. I like the regression of the character, of like, grief is okay, but like, if I'm given the chance to bring back lost ones, I would do it. And that's what...
But they were fake.
That's her thoughts.
But they were fake.
Ralph Boner.
Okay. I also, like, I think it's better that way, that the Wanda and Agnes fight was pretty basic. Because Wanda just learned, like, oh, my powers are magic?
I mean, but she also spontaneously created this entire world of Westview, so I mean...
Also,
She didn't know that.
I have something to say about the runes, man. About the runes. Very stupid. Agatha explicitly says, in order to cast runes, you have to be a witch, and you have to know your specific runes. Like, you have to know how to cast these. There's a specific way to do it. That way, only the witch who casts the runes can use her magic. But all of a sudden, Wanda just knows how to do this. Somehow.
I mean, like
ancient magical patterns that are extremely specific that she didn't even really see.
I don't think Agnes said, like, you need to know like your specific role, but
no, I feel like you need to know the specific magic to do it. Like, there's a...
I don't think she said that.
I don't think you need a specific magic. I think it was creative how she beat her by, like, shooting them past her and making runes in the walls.
Creative, but they're obviously extremely specific symbols.
Right? Like, how did she know?
I mean, granted, she did go into her mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she did go in her mind.
That is true.
It's just, I think it was better at being basic, whereas Vision's fight was more complex.
I think a lot of stuff in that episode deserved a lot more explanation than we got. And I don't mean like, you know, Mr. Boner. I mean like other
Yeah.
What?
Okay, I guess I'll just read off this paragraph because I have an entire thing that I sent to Cybernerd explaining my issues with the episode. Let me find it. So I said, it wasn't finished satisfyingly. If you wanted her to act like the villain of the show, where it was going in most aspects, like if you look at the show, it was going towards her being like the villain. You have to give her consequences and either get like arrested or I don't know, get fucking like I get her children being taken away and they're supposed to be the consequences, but that still doesn't
like, that still doesn't excuse the fact that she tortured an entire city of people. Monica had some cool moments, but I don't know about that. I don't think it's cool that she's faster than super speed, but I thought that was pretty stupid. The things that I thought needed to be explained more. Jesus Christ! Turn your phone down. I will stab you to death. The things I think needed to be explained more for one was a lot of Wanda, because it just kind of started off with her being like, let's fight, instead of, well, I don't know, talking to Agatha. Like, I understand that sounds stupid, but I think, I was talking about earlier, I think it should have been more character driven. I think that was the main issue, is that it was like a lot of fighting, and then just like some characters standing around. Like, Vision was like, your Vision, and he's like, yeah, and then he flew away, and then Vision was like just standing there for the rest of the time, and then he died. Same with the kids, they did like one thing and stood there, and I know that it's supposed to be mainly Wanda's episode. The characters should have been utilized more, and maybe the episode should have been longer just to utilize each and every character. Like, there should have been explained. Yeah, it should have been more character driven with Pietro and Wanda, and like maybe finding out that the brother was fake. I think it should have been more emotionally driven instead of her just like, there are moments in the fight where she's like smiling like, haha, got you, when her kids are fucking dying. I don't know, I just think there's a lot of parts that I thought were really stinky.
Disagree, you're wrong. Shut the fuck up, your opinion isn't valid.
No, he's right.
Yeah, thanks for ruining the joke, Jack.
Alright, anyone else want to say anything? Or
Wait, what?
wrap this episode up?
What?
What?
What did you say?
What did you... Huh?
What did you say?
Okay, alright. Does anybody else have anything?
I said something about condoms for the rest of my life.
What?
Shut. Okay, are we gonna wrap this up now, or does anyone else have anything to say?
Anyways, dumbass.
Stop.
You're the fucking dumbass.
You're an idiot.
Condos.
Alright, no, okay.
Not condoms.
I'm muting you.
See you guys later.
Why do you say condoms?
Okay, let's wrap this episode up. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching this episode.
You mentioned condoms.
Yeah, because it sounded like you said Trojans.
These guys are just...
You guys are getting muted.
Thanks.
Alright, so,
You guys are getting muted.
shut up!
Listen, I need to say something.
Fine.
I wanted to say my thoughts on the show as a whole. I think that the beginning, it was a little... I think the middle was really where it ramped up and got good. But the beginning, a little slow, and then a little stinky. But all around, I'd give it...
Why did I get muted when Greenbird said that?
We were both talking.
Okay,
Yeah,
just shut up.
He muted me.
Just shut... Oh my god.
I'd give the show as a whole definitely a 7.5. I like it. But I think that there's some issues with it that could have been resolved.
I'd say...
I'm really excited for Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I'd say that I'd give the show like an 8 out of 10 because like it kind of had a slow start, but then yeah, like the middle was very good. But yeah, I think episode 7 was kind of weak, and then episode 8 picked it back up, and then episode 9 was like but as a show, I think it was pretty good. It had its moments, but overall, I think definitely had problems for sure. But I love that Marvel was being very experimental, and they were it was just very unique from anything we've seen Marvel do, and I'm glad they're doing wacky stuff like this. So yeah, 8 out of 10 for the show as a whole.
Yeah, sure.
Something along those lines, 8-ish.
8-ish. More like 8 off.
No, stop. Alright, I think that's where we should end this episode. Alright, so...
See you guys later. Peace.
Thank you guys for watching this episode of the podcast, and I'll see you guys all later.